Starting at age 60, something happens that almost no one warns you about. The same exercises that once made you feel strong may now be weakening you without you even noticing. And one of the biggest culprits is traditional squats. For decades, we were told they were the gold standard for strengthening the legs, but what worked at 40 doesn't necessarily protect your body at 60. In fact, for many older adults, deep squats are causing more pain, more instability, and a greater risk of falls. Over time, your joints change, cartilage wears down, lubrication decreases, stabilizing muscles weaken, and your nervous system reacts more slowly. All of this makes your knees no longer tolerate the same load, and yet millions of people continue to push themselves to train as if nothing had changed. The result? Constant discomfort, fear of moving, and a progressive loss of confidence in their own bodies. But here's the part no one tells you: you don't need to suffer to strengthen your legs after 60. In fact, there are movements that are much safer, more effective, and smarter that help you stand up from a chair, climb stairs, and maintain your independence without destroying your joints. That's why, in this video, I'm going to show you 3 exercises that many doctors and specialists recommend instead of traditional squats, because they not only strengthen your legs, but also improve your balance, stability, and safety when you move. If you want to know what they are, and why they could change the way you train forever, stay until the end, because the last exercise is one of the most important for protecting your long-term mobility. Let's begin. Traditional squats have been promoted for decades as the perfect exercise to strengthen the legs, but what almost no one explains is that this movement was designed with young bodies in mind, with healthy joints, good mobility, and a high capacity for recovery. After 60, the body no longer responds the same way. Cartilage becomes thinner, joint lubrication decreases, tendons lose elasticity, and stabilizing muscles weaken. All of this completely changes the way your knees, hips, and lower back tolerate load. When you perform a deep squat, very high compression is generated on the knee joint, especially at the lowest angles of the movement. In a young body, this load may be manageable. In a body that has already accumulated decades of wear, it can become a constant source of pain, inflammation, and even progressive damage. And here is the problem: many older adults believe that if they feel pain, it is normal, or that they must push through it to get stronger, when in reality that pain is a clear signal that the exercise is not respecting the current biomechanics of their body. In addition, traditional squats require good mobility in the ankles, hips, and spine, something that is often limited after 60. When that mobility is not present, the body compensates in dangerous ways, leaning the torso too far forward, collapsing the knees inward, or loading the lower back. These compensations not only reduce the effectiveness of the exercise, but also increase the risk of silent injuries that accumulate over time. That's why, even though squats are not bad in themselves, for most older adults they stop being the safest, smartest, and most efficient option for building real, lasting strength. But the biggest problem is not just the impact on the knees, it's what squats don't train. And that is balance. Most falls in older adults do not happen because of a lack of strength, but because of a lack of stability, reaction, and movement control. You can have relatively strong muscles, but if your nervous system reacts slowly, if your stabilizing muscles don't know how to activate in time, or if your brain is not trained to correct imbalances, the risk of falling remains high. In fact, multiple studies have shown that balance problems are one of the main predictors of falls, even more so than muscle weakness. This means that doing only strength exercises, like squats, is not enough. After 60, training must change its focus. It's no longer just about building muscle, but about teaching your body to move with control, safety, and confidence in real-life situations. Walking, turning, stepping up, standing up from a chair, or regaining your balance when you trip are asymmetrical, unpredictable, and dynamic movements. And squats do not prepare your body for that. That's why, at this age, it's essential to choose exercises that combine strength, balance, and coordination in a single movement. Exercises that not only strengthen your legs, but also train your nervous system, your reflexes, and your ability to stay stable under pressure. That is the real secret to preserving your independence, not just being strong, but being stable, agile, and safe. Because after 60, the goal is no longer to lift more weight, but to keep moving without fear, without pain, and with full confidence in your body. Exercise 1. Sitting down and standing up from a chair. The exercise of sitting down and standing up from a chair is considered by many physiotherapists, geriatricians, and rehabilitation specialists to be one of the most effective and safest tools for strengthening the legs after 60. Unlike traditional squats, This movement significantly reduces compression on the knees and lower back, while still activating the main muscle groups involved in daily mobility: quadriceps, glutes, hamstrings, and core. From a biomechanical point of view, this exercise maintains more natural joint angles, avoids positions of maximum flexion that often cause pain, and allows for a more controlled movement pattern. Science supports its effectiveness. Multiple studies have shown that sitting down and standing up from a chair not only improves strength, but also motor function and independence. For example, studies published in journals such as Journal of Geriatric Physical Therapy, Clinical Interventions in Aging, and Archives of Gerontology and Geriatrics have found that training programs based on this movement improve leg power, walking speed, and the ability to perform activities of daily living. In addition, this exercise stimulates neuromuscular coordination, that is, the communication between the brain and the muscles, something that becomes crucial with age. It is not just about building muscle, but about teaching the body to use it efficiently and safely. When you train sitting down and standing up from a chair on a regular basis, you are training exactly what you need most: getting out of bed, off the couch, from the toilet, or from a chair without relying on external help. And that ability is one of the greatest signs of functional independence in older adults. What makes this exercise truly powerful is its functional nature. It is not an artificial gym movement, but an exact replica of an action you perform dozens of times a day. That means that each repetition not only strengthens your muscles, but also reinforces real motor patterns, improving your confidence and reducing fear of movement. Studies in older adult populations have shown that simply regaining confidence when standing up from a chair significantly reduces the risk of falls, because the body learns to distribute the load better, activate the correct muscles at the precise moment, and maintain balance. To perform it correctly, you should sit on a firm chair with your feet supported at hip width, slightly lean your torso forward to keep the center of gravity stable, activate your abdomen, and push through your heels in a slow and controlled manner until you stand up. Then, you take a brief pause and descend with the same control. This detail, control, is key, because it not only strengthens the muscles, but also the tendons, the joints, and the nervous system. Unlike deep squats, here there are no bounces or unnecessary loads. Everything is designed to protect your joints while you build real strength. That is why this exercise is ideal for people with knee pain, beginners, people in rehabilitation, or any older adult who wants to strengthen their body without risk. It is not about doing more, but about doing better. And sitting down and standing up from a chair represents exactly that philosophy, training in an intelligent, safe way, focused on real life. Exercise 2. Split stance with support. One of the most common mistakes of traditional training is assuming that strength is everything. For years, the idea has been promoted that the stronger your legs are, the safer you will be. But modern science on aging shows that this is not enough. After 60, the factor that most predicts falls, fractures, and loss of independence is not just strength, but balance and neuromuscular control. In fact, a study published in the British Journal of Sports Medicine found that balance deficits are one of the greatest predictors of falls in older adults, even more so than muscle weakness. This happens because, with age, the central nervous system becomes slower at processing information, reflexes decrease, and stabilizing muscles, especially in the hips, ankles, and core, lose efficiency. The split stance with support targets exactly this problem. Unlike traditional strength exercises, this movement not only strengthens the large muscles, but also trains your brain to coordinate, anticipate, and correct imbalances in real time. That is, it not only makes you stronger, but more stable. Research published in journals such as Age and Aging and Journal of Gerontology has shown that exercises in asymmetrical and semi-unstable positions more intensely activate deep muscles and the neural circuits responsible for balance. This is key, because most falls do not occur when you are standing still, but when you change position, turn, take an unexpected step, or momentarily lose stability. This exercise simulates exactly those situations, but in a controlled and safe environment. What makes the split stance with support so powerful is that it forces your body to work as an integrated system. It is not just about the legs. The abdominal muscles, glutes, hip stabilizers, deep spinal muscles, and the small ankle muscles that are almost never consciously trained are all involved. These muscles are the ones that really keep you upright when the ground is uneven, when you trip, or when you have to react quickly to avoid falling. Studies in movement neuroscience, such as those published in Neuroscience and Biobehavioral Reviews, show that balance is not only a muscular issue, but a neurological one. Your brain needs to constantly practice how to send fast and precise signals to the correct muscles. And this is not achieved with machines or rigid movements, but with exercises that progressively challenge stability. To do it, place yourself near a wall or a chair, take a small step forward, keep your chest upright, your abdomen activated, and distribute the weight between both legs. By holding this position for 15 to 30 seconds, your body begins to make constant micro-adjustments that you are not even consciously aware of. Each one of those adjustments is direct training for your balance system. Over time, these micro-adjustments translate into safer steps, better posture, and greater confidence when moving. This exercise not only strengthens your legs, it teaches you to trust your body again. And that confidence is one of the most important factors for preserving mobility, avoiding a sedentary lifestyle, and maintaining independence after 60. Exercise 3. Lunge. The lunge is one of the most complete and functional exercises for older adults, because it combines strength, stability, coordination, and neuromuscular control into a single movement pattern. Unlike squats, which concentrate the load bilaterally and symmetrically, the lunge trains each leg independently, which is much closer to how the body actually moves in real life. Walking, climbing stairs, turning, stopping a misstep, or regaining balance are unilateral movements, not symmetrical ones. From a biomechanical standpoint, this is key. Studies published in the Journal of Strength and Conditioning Research show that unilateral exercises more intensely activate the hip stabilizing muscles, the deep core, and the intrinsic muscles of the ankle, which are responsible for balance and joint stability. In addition, lunges have been observed to produce high activation of the gluteus maximus and medius, muscles that are fundamental for knee protection and pelvic stability. When these muscles are weak, something very common after 60, the knees receive more load, the risk of pain increases, and walking mechanics are altered. That is why strengthening them is not optional, it is a functional necessity. Unlike deep squats, the lunge allows you to easily adjust depth, step length, and movement speed, which makes it an extremely adaptable and safe tool for different fitness levels. This has led to its widespread use in rehabilitation and fall prevention programs. But the true power of the lunge is not only in strength, but in how it trains the brain. With aging, not only is muscle mass lost, the nervous system's ability to coordinate complex movements also deteriorates. Research in movement neuroscience, such as that published in Neuroscience and Biobehavioral Reviews, shows that movements involving changes in base of support, weight transfer, and eccentric control, like what happens in a lunge, more intensely activate the areas of the brain related to balance and movement anticipation. This means that each repetition not only strengthens your legs, but also trains your ability to react, stabilize, and avoid falls. To perform it correctly, you should stand upright, take a step forward with one leg, descend slowly and in a controlled manner until both knees bend comfortably, keep your torso stable, and then push through the front heel to return to the starting position. That slow descent is crucial, because it strengthens the muscles in their eccentric phase, the same one used when going down stairs or sitting down. Studies published in the Journal of Aging and Physical Activity have shown that improving eccentric strength is associated with a lower risk of falls and greater functional independence. The lunge is not just an exercise, it is a simulator of real life. It teaches you to control your body in dynamic situations, to trust your legs again, and to move with confidence. And after 60, that confidence is just as important as strength itself. Because there is no point in having strong muscles if you are afraid to use them. These three movements, the sit to stand from a chair, the split stance with support, and the traditional lunge, outperform squats after 60 because they are aligned with how the body truly functions as it ages. They do not only strengthen the muscles, but also respect biomechanics, protect the joints, and train the nervous system, which is just as important as the muscular system. Studies published in journals such as Journal of Aging and Physical Activity, Clinical Biomechanics, and Journal of Orthopedic and Sports Physical Therapy have shown that functional, unilateral, and slow control exercises reduce joint load while maintaining high muscle activation. This is key, because cartilage wear and the decrease in joint lubrication make high compression movements, such as deep squats, increasingly less tolerable. In contrast, these exercises distribute the load more efficiently among the hips, glutes, and core, reducing direct stress on the knees and lower back. In addition, they train something that squats do not: balance. Research from the British Journal of Sports Medicine shows that balance deterioration is one of the main risk factors for falls, even more so than strength loss. These movements safely challenge your stability, teaching your brain to react, correct, and anticipate imbalances. They also reinforce real movement patterns, standing up from a chair, taking a step, changing direction, stabilizing on a single support. They are not gym exercises, they are simulations of daily life. and that has a direct impact on your autonomy. You do not need weights, machines, or endless sessions. With just a few minutes a day, consistently, you can improve your strength, your safety, and your confidence. Science is clear: consistency in functional exercises has more long-term impact than intense but sporadic training. What you are building here is not just muscle, it is a body that responds better to real life. In this way, the true goal of training after 60 is not to lift more weight, do more repetitions, or compete with past versions of yourself. It is something much more important: preserving your independence. Being able to get up on your own, walk without fear, climb stairs with confidence, react when you lose your balance, and move without pain. Studies published in journals of gerontology and Frontiers in Aging Neuroscience show that the loss of mobility does not happen overnight. It is the result of years of avoided movements, fear of falling, and poorly selected exercises. Many people stop moving not because they cannot, but because they are afraid. That fear creates stiffness, that stiffness creates weakness, and that weakness reinforces fear. It is a silent cycle. These exercises break that cycle because they do not only strengthen the body, but also retrain the mind. Each repetition sends a message to the brain: I am capable. I am stable. I can move safely. And that message changes everything. If you are looking for exercises for older adults, alternatives to squats, knee-safe routines, balance exercises, or real ways to strengthen your legs after 60, this is not just a routine, it is a functional longevity strategy. Because the body does not stop adapting with age, what changes is the way it must be stimulated. When you choose movements that respect your joints, challenge your balance, and strengthen your muscles at the same time, you are investing in your future quality of life. And here is the truth that few say: it is not too late to start. Neuroplasticity, muscular adaptation, and balance improvement remain possible at any age, as long as the stimuli are the right ones. You don't train to look better. You train to live better. To move safely. To not depend. To keep being you. And now I want you to be very clear about something: your body is not too old to get stronger, it just needs the right stimulus. Each one of these exercises is designed to help you move with more safety, less pain, and more confidence in your day-to-day life. It's not about training harder, it's about training better. And if you start today, even with just a few minutes, your future self will thank you. If this video gave you real value, if you learned something that had not been explained to you before, and if you want to keep taking care of your mobility, your balance, and your independence, then do 3 things right now. Give this video a like so more people can see it, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the upcoming content designed specifically for older adults, and activate the notification bell so YouTube alerts you every time we upload a new video. Here, we don't talk about fitness fads, we talk about science, safety, and quality of life. And remember, your mobility is your freedom. Protect it. Your body and your health will thank you for it. Thank you for watching this video, and see you soon.